The Old Reading Gensons Association, which all staff are members, by the way, are very generous to you, boys. Over the last few years, we've been up to £50,000, but you have to work for it. You have to be enterprising. You have to be creative. Professor Martin Parsons, the immediate past president of the ORs, today will explain to you how you can be part of this excellent Enterprise Awards scheme for 2013.
Morning. As Mr. Robson just said, over the last few years we've given away £50,000 of Old Reading Gensons Association funds for this enterprise scheme. So what basically is the enterprise scheme? Well, it is to give you the opportunity to do something and do a project that you perhaps have always wanted to do and never had the opportunity to do so, or something that would link in with your particular interests or with your particular academic studies. We give awards up to a maximum of £500 a time. But if you can make a really good case for something that is going to cost a little more than that, we have in the past raised that money to £600 and in some cases £700. But this is a grant. We're not giving you the money. There are strings attached. But the strings attached are actually part of the learning process. First of all, if you apply to us for £400, we are expecting you to raise the other £400. And that has to be written in your application. The other part of the learning process is you have to give us a very detailed letter of application, which can either be written or it can be found on the website, outlining what your project is, what the outcomes of that project are going to be, and what you personally are going to get out of it, and also how you are going to raise the extra money yourself. And this is not going to your parents and saying, the ORs are giving me £400, can you sign me a cheque for the other £400? You've actually got to demonstrate that you are going to do something tangible to actually raise that money. We will look very favourably on any applications that we get, but bear in mind that we tend not to look at applications that come in at the very last minute on a piece of exercise book paper that's just been torn out. You've got to think very, very carefully about you doing the application. Why did I say this is part of the learning process? Because quite simply, those of you who will be going on to university, or those of you who are going to industry, or any other form of career which requires funding or money, at some time in your career, you will have to put in bids for money. And this is the start of it. If I want to do a big research project, I have to fund it from an outside funding body. And it can take hours and hours and hours to actually put an application form in, and it has to be a really good argument within it to have any chance of success. So this is part of the process of the enterprise. Those applications will actually go through two screening bodies. The first one will be Mr. Robson and the captain of the school. The other group will be made up of a group of us in the OR Association, and we will look at the recommendations made by the school, and we will look at our own recommendations based on a set of criteria that we use, and we will grade the applications accordingly. As I say, it's very rare for us to not give some money to most of the applications we receive. But if you want the top awards, it has to be something special. So what are we asking you to apply for? Well, the list really is up here on the board. Anything to do with conservation or green issues, been part of it. Science-based projects, we've had somebody last year decided that they would have a go at making a solar-powered cooker. Third world support. In the past, we've actually funded an individual or a couple of people to go overseas to a third world country where they have helped doing setting up laboratories or doing horticultural projects or just basically helping out in schools, which to some extent comes into the community, faith and civic projects. One of the guys a couple of years ago we gave funding to basically go out and do some religious, almost missionary work in part of Africa, which combined him working and teaching in a school as well. Study tours. Now the study tours is an interesting one. This is not a case of sitting there saying, actually, I've never been to Venice, I'd like to go to Venice on holiday, because we're not going to fund that. But if, let's take Venice, if you felt that going to Venice would actually enhance your A-level work or something else that you want to do regarding art or architecture, then we would look at it. That's what I mean about the application. You have to focus the application to precisely what you need. Self-development initiatives and the sporting development almost go together. We have given money in the past for people to attend international chess championships. We've also given money to people who are, if you like, at the top of their field in terms of school sport and want to take that on to the regional and possibly national levels, and so they need extra coaching. And we've also given money to people who have a great interest in sport already and want to do their coaching awards. So if they want to do their rugby or your soccer or cricket or whatever you want to do, and you want to do a coaching course, then that is a valid application. Let us have it and we'll have a look and see what you've done. And also gap year projects. There are some occasions when we've given money for certainly sixth form who are leaving school but have a project that they want to continue with during their gap year into university. And finally, the music, theatre and art projects. We have given money for people who want to go off and do a theatre lighting course. We've given money in the past for people who want to extend their own skills in a particular genre of art. And we've also given music scholarships, almost scholarships. What we won't do is, if you're in music, for instance, and you're thinking about applying for music, we won't sponsor you for an instrument. So if you think, actually I could do with a new clarinet, we won't buy you that clarinet. However, what we would consider is a grant towards a new clarinet if that clarinet was required to take you from one level of player into the next level. In order to become the next level of the clarinetist, you need a really good instrument, much better than you've already got. And we would look upon that quite favourably, but as I say, as a one-off, just buying a clarinet, we are really not into that at all. You can do it as an individual, you can do it as pairs, and you can do it as small groups. But we reckon small groups is certainly 3, on rare occasions, possibly 4. You've got to work together, you've got to get together in order to do these projects. It's not just limited within county. If you've got a friend who's in any other houses that you want to do a project with, this is a school-based initiative, you can do it with them. It's also, as we've had in the past, not restricted either to your year group. In the past we have had year 7s working with year 9s and small groups across the age bands to actually come up with a particular project. The final date for application is April the 16th, and that is a strict date. It has to be in by April 16th. Ms. Greeny here and Mr. Hussain are the school links regarding the enterprise. As I said, those will go to Mr. Robson first, They will then come to us, and we will make a final decision by May the 7th, and you will be notified by letter on May the 7th. Your parents, incidentally, have to sign the letter to tell us that A, they know what you're going to do, B, that you need to raise your own money, and C, and this is the important thing, if you don't do the project, that you pay the money back. Okay? Now, there's nothing wrong in projects not working. So there's no shame in just saying, well, I did apply for this money, I did try to do this, but for circumstances beyond my control and I couldn't, you just give the cheque back. And also, there is nothing wrong in starting out on a project that we funded you for that actually hasn't worked in the way that you wanted. If you wanted, say, money to build something, or a scientific project, or scientific experiments that actually haven't worked as you thought, we will still fund that for you. That would not be deemed as a failure. What you have to do at the very end of your project, and this is part of the whole package, you have to write a detailed report on how you went about developing the project and how you used our money. Okay? So, applications in by April 16th, and they need to be detailed. Don't just put on the application form, I would like £300. We're not interested in that. Anybody can ask for £300. We want to see what you are spending that £300 on. So you need to cost the project. Get it in by April 16th, you will get a reply by May 7th. Why do you need to do this? Well, quite simply, because frankly it will look very good on your CV. If you are going to a job later, or you're going to university, and everybody in the room is exactly the same, having this on your CV that you were awarded an enterprise, you got an enterprise award while at school for doing something you can apply at any time. Oh, sorry.
Yes. About the funding, you say you will give us half and the other half we'll have to raise ourselves?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And we will give you half up to a maximum of £500. So, you know, your project can be 2,000 or 3,000, but we will only give you the 500 unless we felt it was really good. We might give you a bit more.
And clarify, it's open to all year groups, 7 to 13.
Absolutely. Yeah, 7 to 13. Either stay within the year groups, you want to do mixed year groups, mixed houses. This is an individual project. It's not specifically linked to the houses. Right? Right.
Yes.
A round of applause.
Questions we've had. Big schools have been used for exams. Just a couple of things. Number one, there was a road relay on Friday for year 7. And I'm delighted to say that 7C came first. Number 2, there are a lot of competitions next week. So tutors, could you please make sure tomorrow that your forms have their teams in place? We have year 9 on Monday, and we have year 10 on Thursday, and year 8 on Friday. So gentlemen, get your teams ready. Would you like to talk about how I set foot?
Yeah, basically, if I said...
Why don't you come down here very quickly, so we can see you. Thank you.
So yeah, guys, I said that next week I have some event coming up, and as I'm sure you're all aware, this year's a bit different to elocution in that there's a creative writing element. So me and Josh will be coming around forums, we'll be kind of encouraging you guys to get started and everything. Basically, creative writing can be anything: poetry, dramatic scripts, short story, comedy sketch, whatever. The only limit to it, I think it's under 1,000 words. And it also has to be to do with our theme, which is innocence and experience. So yeah, be interested to see how you guys interpret that. yeah, get writing. Really excited to see what you guys come up with.
Gentlemen, we are still leading in the in-house competition, so we really need to get behind this new house isotopes. Okay,